Guys, we finally have the full spoilers of chapter 5 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, and let's just say that everything we predicted came true in this chapter. And just to quickly summarize, we have Boruto finally returning to the village, we have Sasuke versus Code, and we also find out something very interesting about the motivations of Boruto's new 10 Tails enemy. So I really want to get to that part, but as usual we're gonna start from the top. So as per usual, we first have the cover page, which now features Sasuke, and he's very important in this chapter. So the wording or the subtext on the cover itself says, even doubting himself, what he believes is. And then it says, after the big change, what happened between Boruto and Sasuke. Now before we continue, as you guys know, these are spoiler panels, so I can't show them in full on the channel or they're gonna get copyright striked, right? So I'm just gonna show portions of them so you guys can get a brief understanding of what's going on. So the first panel shows this older Boruto with his hair grown out, training with Sasuke. So obviously some time has passed since what happened in chapter 80 of the original manga. We then see Boruto and Sasuke sitting around a campfire with Boruto joking about his new Uchiha style, which of course is referring to his clothing. And based on the additional translations we received, it seems like Sasuke is telling Boruto that he has nothing left to tell him or teach him. But that doesn't mean that Boruto's training is completely over. He still needs to master what Sasuke has taught him. Now you guys can read the entire dialogue if you want to, but that's just a summary of what it's saying here. Now we then switch to Sasuke versus Code, and just to be clear, it doesn't show the entire battle itself, we just saw glimpses of it. So in this portion we see that Code has already lost his left eye, and he attributes it to Sasuke. He then says, damn you Uchiha, how dare you take my eyes. And then we have Boruto standing behind Sasuke, and Sasuke is saying to him, what are you doing Boruto? Hurry and run. But Boruto is saying that he can't leave his master. Sasuke then replied saying there's no way we can win against him, which means they can't defeat Code for now, so run. No matter what, you need to survive. And then he said that he'll leave Sarada in Boruto's hand. And that's when you see Sasuke quote his sword in Chidori and ran towards Code. And just to clarify again, we didn't see exactly what happened, so I'm not leaving out any panels, he just didn't show it. But we did come back to the end of what happened with Sasuke now being a tree, whilst also being surrounded by the additional claw grimes he defeated. And that's when the perspective of the chapter switched back to present day. Now just to clarify one thing or address one thing, this is really weird because it seems like Sasuke was able to put up a fight against Unlimited Code. I need you guys to understand that this isn't Limited Code, this is Unlimited Code, who's supposedly above Jigen, right? Now I just want to say Code isn't using his Karma Seal, of course. Though you'd have to assume that Code at some point activated his Karma Seal since he was in that state. And even when we get to the end of it, we see that Sasuke is still alive, he didn't die. It seems like he was caught off guard by a claw grime. So I don't know what to say. I need some more information on what exactly transpired in the battle before I come to a concrete conclusion. But based on what we're seeing here, either Code isn't as strong as we thought he was, or Sasuke within 1 year caught up to Jigen level threats. Now of course Sasuke couldn't defeat Code, so he's obviously below him in power, but Code is significantly stronger than Jigen. So Sasuke at least became a Jigen level threat, okay? So this part is very interesting, but we're gonna leave it for the actual full translations, the accurate ones, and then I'll make an accurate conclusion. But yeah, let's get to the other stuff. So we then switch over to the Hidden Leaf Village where it shows that Moegi has been transformed into a tree, and we see Team 10 looking on to Moegi, looking all sad and stuff, and Konohamaru is also there as well. Now what's interesting here is that they pledged to like take down the 10 Tails and get revenge on Code as well. And this part is very interesting because I actually made a video explaining everything called the Shinju gods, and in that video I explained that the female Shinju is indeed Moegi because of the Earth style jutsu and also how she looks. I also explained that the Sasuke looking Shinju is Sasuke, the Jigen looking Shinju is Jigen, and of course you know the Bug looking Shinju is Bug. Now of course I explained why that's the case because of the deep Otsutsuki DNA within these individuals. So if you guys want to learn more about that, you guys can go watch that video. It should be on screen right now and it will be linked at the end of this video. But yeah, some people believe that it was Delta, some people believe that it was Ada, but as predicted it was indeed Moegi. Now Now what's also interesting is that the Ten-Tails entities themselves are also aware of this. So on the 16th page of this chapter, we see that the female Shinju is saying that she can feel the despair of Ina Chikacho, or the kids of Ina Chikacho, which of course is referring to Shikadai, Inojin, and Chocho. And she also says she can feel the pain of Konohamaru as well. And that's when the Jigen Shinju stepped up, which we're going to get into later on because his specific desire is actually pretty interesting. But he says here that this is proof of your sensitivity growing. We are indeed biologically one. But Matsuri, the feeling you felt seems to be only inside you. And then they actually confirmed what I predicted in my video about the fake renegons that I released last week, where I said that the Shinju themselves are one entity biologically, but they have different consciousnesses due to the people absorbed by the clawgrams themselves, and they said that in this chapter. And then they also confirmed that the purpose of eating an Otsutsuki and also evolving doesn't change. However, something else is also there, because he then went on to say that, I don't know why I feel like this, it's probably a desire from the instinct, which is him referring to his desire of consuming Naruto Uzumaki. Now it seems that the other Ten-Tails entities were shocked because why would he want to eat Naruto when Naruto isn't Otsutsuki? And then he replied saying because we're already a Shinju and is evolving in different ways. It seems like the instinct moving us is changing as well. He then tells the other entities to follow their instinct and listen to the voice inside them. Then you should be able to see the target each of you got. So it seems like each Shinju got individual targets that they need to take out. And his target for some reason is Naruto Uzumaki. Now before we address why that is the case, let's get some insight from the other Shinju entities. So the female Shinju, who was just confirmed to have been created by absorbing Moegi, is saying that her target is Sarutobi Konohamaru, which is someone close to Moegi. And then we have the Sasuke Shinju, whose name is Jura, and it seems like he's somewhat confused as to what they are. Now this seems to be leading to a certain plot point with this guy maybe betraying the Ten-Tails entities, because he seems to be thinking more than he needs to be about what he is and what he needs to accomplish. But then the Jigen Shinju basically said that what you need to do is important, the instinct will tell you who your target is. And then he basically confirmed this specific Shinju, whose name is actually Hidari, not Jura. So Jura is the name of the Jigen looking Shinju, which is very interesting. Jura, Jigen, but you know, we're gonna get to it. And he then says that his identity is actually Sasuke's. And that's when the Sasuke looking Shinju replied saying that his target is Sarada Uchiha. Now mind you, this guy hasn't met Sarada since he was created, so he's accessing the memories of Sasuke Uchiha to find someone closest to him. So we have the Moegi Shinju, whose target is someone close to Moegi, that of course being Konohamaru. And then we have the Sasuke Shinju, whose target is someone close to Sasuke, that being Sarada. And now we have the Bug Shinju, who for some reason was able to see Ada while she was using her Senringan. So as we know, as Ada stated, when she uses the Senringan to view current events, it's like she's transferring her consciousness to that specific point. So in this chapter, we see that the Bug Shinju saw when Ada projected her consciousness into the room and walked directly in front of her and looked directly into her eyes and said that she is his target. Now aside from that being absolutely insane power-wise, what's important to point out is that we know that Bug has a deep history with Ada. He actually took care of Ada while she was locked up, and he knew her before since he was affected by her charm ability. So Bug, even though he wasn't as affected by Code, it seems, he was still in love with Ada. So again, the closest person to Bug would have been Ada. So there is some connection there. It seems to be linked to love. Moegi likely loved Konohamaru. We know Sasuke loved Sarada. And we also know that Bug loved Ada. Now there's one thing that stands out though. The Jigen looking Shinju seems to be obsessed with eating Naruto. Why? What relation does he have with Naruto specifically? Now some people were theorizing that this big bad who is the obvious leader of the group, was somehow the random dude that Sarada didn't save. Now that was absolutely ridiculous, right? He has to be more important. And I theorized that he was Jigen. He was created using the data within Code's Karma Seal. So if you guys want to learn more about that and why it makes sense, of course go watch the Shinju video. And also while you're watching that, I did release a video a few weeks ago explaining the entire Momoshiki arc in depth. It's a 58-minute video that narrated the entire arc itself, so you guys can go watch it as well if you want to enjoy Boruto's first 10 chapters in narrated format, of course. But yeah, getting back to this point here, there seems to be some connection with this entity, this Jigen looking entity, with Naruto, which of course means that this isn't only due to love, it seems to be due to grudge as well. So it could be just intense emotions towards a specific individual, and it could be that Jigen or Shiki had some intense feelings towards Naruto, because as we know, Naruto did put in some work on Jigen and the Shiki, okay? So I would understand it. But of course it might be deeper than that, so we have to wait until we get further information. Now what's also interesting here is that we see that Amado seems to be doubting Omnipotence. So he mentions that after Shiki was defeated, he created a new Karma Seal of his daughter's data and inserted it into Kawaki's body. Of course, Kawaki in this instance, I'm referring to the original Kawaki, but since he's affected by Omnipotence, he's saying that he put it into Boruto. He then also mentions that Kawaki's body, of course referring to Kawaki who's acting as Boruto, seems to be a scientific ninja tool, but nobody knows when his body was modified, nor do they know who modified his body, which led to him saying that, but the fact is that his body was obviously modified by my hands. He further went on to say that an artist leaves proof as to what job was done by them. And based on the Karma Seal he's seen in Kawaki's body, the Karma Seal he himself created, he knows that he created that Karma Seal. So why is that Karma Seal in Kawaki when he created it for Boruto? It just doesn't make sense. He then went on to say that there are controversy in my memory, but with the proofs we have in front of us, the answer is pretty obvious. Part of my memory was overwritten. That is the only conclusion I can come up with. First of all, memories are just vague phantoms. For me as a scientist, there's nothing that beats actual proof. And the actual proof he's referring to is the photos of Boruto being another person, and also the fact that the Karma Seal doesn't belong on this Kawaki, belongs on the other one. So yeah, it seems like Amado is able to see through the contradictions based on the mounting evidence that he's seen. So it's not just one thing. He's a scientist who relies on proof. So when he's seen multiple things contradicting what he remembers, that's forcing him to reconsider Omnipotence, which is similar to what Sasuke did. So he then says, I don't know who did it, but I can clearly say this. What matters for me is the karma for my daughter, and the one who has it is not Boruto, but Kawaki. And that's when he switched to page 34, and it seems like Amado is being monitored by Shikamaru and Sai. Sai then asks Shikamaru, how do you take it? Now initially when reading these spoilers, I thought that the second portion of this was said by Shikamaru, which led me to believe that Shikamaru wasn't affected by Omnipotence or he found some way to break out of it. But it seems that the person speaking here is actually Sarada, because Sumari is basically relaying the information to her. But I will say that Shikamaru is considering what Sarada was saying before based on what Amado is saying now, so we might see something go down. But in summary, it seems like Sumari is in complete disbelief that this could possibly happen because Omnipotence would prevent this from happening. But Sarada then replied saying, yeah, usually, but Papa did, which is referring to Sasuke. So he was also able to counter Omnipotence based on what he saw. That's when Boruto appeared out of nowhere, probably using Flying Thunder God, saying, nah, my master trusted me. Doubting his memories, he used his life to save me. And also for you, Sarada. So basically what Boruto is saying here is that Sasuke didn't go against Omnipotence based on some pictures or some things that he saw. It's based on his feelings towards Boruto and Sarada. We then see Sarada rush over to Boruto, hugging him, saying that you're late, stupid Boruto. And then he says, sorry, I'm home now. And that's where the chapter basically ends, with Sarada hugging Boruto and Sumari looking a bit shocked. But Stan Wars on Twitter, they're gonna say she was a bit displeased. So that will be fun. But yeah, this chapter seems to be filled with information. Of course, guys, this is just the unofficial translation. So everything I said, take it with a grain of salt in regards to like specific dialogue, okay? Now, of course, it will be mostly accurate, you know, but we need to get the full context. So we're gonna get into the actual official translation when the chapter drops in like 2 to 3 days. And of course, you guys should support the official material on Manga Plus or Viz or wherever you read it, right? But yeah, this chapter was great. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Drop a like if you like the video and subscribe for more Boruto-centric content. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.